Well, yeah, Carl, the ostensible point of this hearing is for her to warn lawmakers of the potential vulnerabilities in the economy. And during her testimony, she listed the ongoing impact of the pandemic, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and market volatility as some of the biggest ones. Now, the FSOC report also lists inflation and the Fed as another big risk to the economy. And things got a little bit testy when the ranking Republican on the committee, Pat Toomey, accused the administration of using financial regulation to influence energy policy, thereby driving up prices in the process. Now, Toomey and Yellen also debated whether the administration is prioritizing climate change over other pressing issues.
You're choosing not to acknowledge that cybersecurity is a more imminent risk than climate risk. And I think that's kind of surprising because it's so obvious to most people.
I think climate change is an existential threat to our globe and to our future. You can see that countries, it is a long-term risk, but it is becoming notably more severe.
Now, one area where Republicans and the White House might be able to work together is on stablecoins. There's a lot of concern over the lack of transparency in the underlying assets. Both sides today said they want to work on legislation that would create a sensible federal framework, and that legislation could happen this year. Morgan?
Where I was going to go with you, Ilan, was the stablecoin piece of the discussion we just heard in cryptocurrencies in general. Obviously, we see this huge downdraft in those assets right now, increasing focus, increasing attention and discussion around regulation and what specifically could actually come out of this discussion in terms of that. I mean, is there anything meaningful other than the rhetoric that we're hearing amid this testimony in terms of shaping those regulations?
Yeah, there's a lot of attempts to create some really significant and substantial legislation here. Senator Pat Toomey has already put out a framework for what stablecoin legislation would look like. One area of disagreement that he said he had with the administration is that the Treasury Department and the White House would like to see any sort of backers of stablecoins be insured depository institutions. What exactly does that term mean? What counts as a so-called IDI? That's going to be where some of the details still need to be hashed out. But there is a real bipartisan attempt on Capitol Hill to come up with some type of legislation. But like anything in Congress these days, getting it across the finish line or even to the start of the race is going to be difficult.